What's up, everyone? Welcome into Comic Book Women Presents, the weekly runners up, sponsored by Covrprice. We're going to be covering number 20 through 11. No, 12. So if you just came over from the top 10 and you're like, oh my God, I didn't get any, maybe you will here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, we are back. Thank you for everybody that was being so patient waiting for us to hop back in. Like I just said, we are going to be covering all the runners up for this week. So shout out to Covrprice, our sponsors. Shout out to Bird City, our sponsored retailer. And shout out to Nimesh if he's in the chat somewhere. We love you. Appreciate your support. And shout out to Trish Forstner in the house. What's up? Good to see that name pop up. As you can tell, we're kind of short a few of our women this week, but Sarah and I are going to hold down the fort. Sarah, what's up?
Oh, what isn't up? Everything's good. It's a two seltzer Tuesday. We got two going on. We got mango and lime.
Just in double case. Fisted. All right.
But yeah, everything's going good. Everything, hopefully doesn't fall apart this week. But hey, it's Tuesday. We made it.
Sorry, I muted for a quick second there. Yeah, everybody I've been talking to this week said that they needed tonight. They needed to escape reality for a little bit and just talk comic books. So that's where we come in. Yeah, let's just dive right in. Number 20 this week, guys. Sarah, what do we have?
How shocking. It is. We've got Absolute Batman $1, the Nick Dragotta regular cover. Absolute Batman was a massive game changer in DC Comics. Its success seems never ending. The Absolute Universe launch was a major hit. Subsequent releases were released after revealing the same popularity. We're seeing Flash. Now we're seeing Martian Manhunter. If you check out Covrprice, those are some sick Martian Manhunter covers. Batman was the first Absolute series, and its first issue continues to trend well. Recently, Scott Snyder revealed to Newsweek that plans are just beginning for this version of The Dark Knight. He teased future characters like Mr. Freeze, Bane, Man-Bat, Ivy, and Clayface, my favorite villain. We've tracked 30 copies sold at a 7-day growth trend of 12%, with a high sale of $87 for a CGC 9.8 copy and a current raw near mint fair market value of $35. Crazy that this book is just hanging on.
Well, it's not, after he kind of spilled the beans in a sense, he's letting us know that these characters, this universe isn't going anywhere. It's going to keep expanding. It's going to keep growing. So I get why people are scrambling back to those books that they wish they would have picked up at the very beginning. Yeah, I don't think that you're going to regret owning this one. I think it's going to be one of those books where you're like, okay, I can hold on to this and it'll become a modern blue chip if he does what we think he's going to do with this universe and just keep growing it out.
I would like to see this Batman in the gun universe.
Wait, what was your question? I missed the first half.
Oh, I was going to say, I would like to see this Batman in the gun universe.
Yeah, he's so much more relatable, I think. I liked this version of him. It was just such a different approach to such a classic character. So yeah, this is cool. Number 20, guys, if you are just hopping in, welcome to the runners up. This is Absolute Batman $1, the Nick Dragotta regular cover, ringing in at a pretty respectable $83 for a 9.8.
Dang.
All right, now let's go back to the 90s, shall we? Let's go to the 90s.
My favorite comic book.
This is the comic book that Sarah still does not own.
Nope.
Spawn #1, Todd McFarlane, the direct edition. While media news slows down, Spawn is always a go-to. As I was just saying, it takes us back to 90s, and it's perfectly designed for us to not only feel that nostalgia, but also just to bond with that tortured hero. So yeah, it pops up, I would say, gosh, almost every week we see this book moving on the aftermarket. It's constantly changing hands between collectors, people like Sarah that haven't picked it up yet, that are still scrambling to get one. or people that have a stack of them. A few of the people I follow on Instagram have like massive boxes of this book. So yeah,
Wow.
it's a widely popular character. It's immensely loved and it has a cult following. So no surprise that this book is constantly on our lists. We tracked 34 copies sold. 34 copies sold this week, guys, at a 7-day growth trend of 21%, with a high sale of $130 for a 9.8 and a current near mint fair market value, Sarah, $25, and it could be yours. $25.
I could just wait until my brother gives it to me.
Until he bequeaths it to you, you're just going to wait one day.
And he's my younger brother, so he's got to give it up
Exactly.
sometime, right?
You think it'd go the other direction? Like you would give him your collection.
Right?
Yeah. But yeah, surprise with this. It's TiVo always said it's like herpes. It just keeps coming back. So number 19. Good analogy, right? Spawn number 1, the direct edition. We are cruising right along tonight. Sarah, what do we have for 18?
Oh my gosh. We saw this last week. This is
Yeah.
the Omega Man number 3. If you have not heard of this book or seen this book, this is kind of been rolling around because of Lobo. So we had an interview with actually Cinema Blend had an interview with Jason Momoa recently. He was wearing this cool like crochet like jacket. Yes. Nearly revealed his Lobo look. I think I saw like a bit of it. They were like, "Are you in the white makeup?" And basically his publicist was like, like, hush, hush, hush. So yeah, right.
Okay.
He's very excited about the role. Check out that interview. He's super excited about the role. He has this, like I said, cool crochet, jacket going on. So in the meantime, his first appearance, which is Omega Man number 3, is enough for us comic collectors as we scramble to pick up all, as many copies as we can. So we've tracked 20 copies sold at a 7-day growth trend of 26%, with a high sale of, this is crazy, $306 for a CGC 9.8 copy and a current, right? A current near mint fair market value. And this is crazy too, of $107. He's not even like, we haven't seen posters, we haven't seen, mock-ups, but Laura and I know that he is Lobo. So
he is. It was meant to be, born for this role. More so than Aquaman, I would argue.
Right. That was so weird. Why did I mean, I like the first Aquaman movie, the second one not so much, but I just never understood.
The casting was like, he was Khal Drogo, and he's
Yes.
Lobo. Those are his 2 roles that I think that he'll really fit well with. So what we're saying, guys, is that we both agree there's room for this to grow. There hasn't been any teasers. There's been no marketing. There's been no little drops in the aftermarket to make this shoot up to the levels that it's already doing. It's kind of cool. We'll see what happens when we get more.
Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's keep going. That was number 18, guys. We have Omega Man number 3 coming in at a pretty nice price, $300 for a 9.8. Now, this next one I have mixed opinions on because I feel like I talked too soon. If you guys watched the previous shows, I wasn't sure how I felt about the Daredevil show. I was like, number 1 was a little bit cheesy for me, a little corny, and I wasn't feeling like I was really into it, but I kept going, and I am so glad I did because I really liked 2 and 3 far better. So the long-awaited return of John Berthel's Punisher was revealed last week in the latest episode of Daredevil Born Again. For a long time, it was rumored that the Punisher would feature in this series as he was attempted to hunt down corrupt cops who were using his symbol. Based on his cameo appearance, it looks like that may be a tease storyline for a future series. Maybe his special presentation. Either way, this tease was enough for fans to track down the first reference to this subplot in this book, featuring Kingpin front and center. This actually looks like a scene from the show.
Right?
We tracked 12 copies sold at a 7-day growth trend of 26%, with a high sale of $19 for a raw near mint copy and a current raw near mint fair market value of $10. Now, if you just came off the top 10 or if you were watching the top 10, a lot of this week's books were determined by shows. So we had Invincible just dominating, and then we had Daredevil. Have you finished any other episodes other than one?
Invincible, yeah, I've only done the one. Daredevil, oh my gosh, I feel so bad. Like I feel like a monster because I'm not really digging it.
Did you go past one? Because one didn't hook me the way I thought it would. You did. Okay.
I finished number 3 on last Tuesday.
Number 3 was so good. I liked it. It was intense.
I think it's the storyline. I think it's a little too choppy for me. I don't want
But
to
you
spoil
never
it.
saw the original Netflix series, right?
Was it like that?
No, but it definitely, I think that it's better if you kind of like get to know those characters and then it kind of pulls you into this one in a different way than if you're just going in cold turkey.
I do like Kingpin's storyline. I think that's a super solid storyline. Some of the other things just seemed like it kind of floated in and then was like it was gone. You know what I'm saying? It just kind of seemed like it just hung for the moment, didn't really like establish anything, and then. But again, I'll watch. I mean, I'm not deviating from it. I'm still, you know, move forward. Let's see what happens with episode 4.
Yeah, just keep going with it. And I really, really, I was hesitant to watch Invincible for the longest time. But long story short, my son wanted to watch it. So I ended up watching it with Adam. Literally binged the whole thing. Like right before we got on tonight, I finished season 3, which was really a really good finale. I was like, oh, this is why everybody's been talking about Conquest. But I would think you should try to watch Invincible. And I'm with you. I'm sticking with Daredevil. I'm going to see where this goes.
Right. Well, the other thing too is I know this is a very common way that they tell their stories. That what I've noticed throughout the Disney TV universe, it's a very slow start of things. And then once we get kind of towards the end of the series, it kind of just like ramps up and then just kind of was like, and we're done. And then you're like, what? What just happened? So, yeah, I know I'm in for the long haul.
Like
So
Agatha all along was like that for me. I had a
yeah,
hard time finishing that.
yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Awesome Sauce, for the super sticker.
Yeah,
We appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
no.
If you were just hopping in, we just got a nice little kick of people. Welcome into Comic Book Women. We are only on number 17 of the runners up. So if you were watching 1 through 11 on the other show, here's your chance to make the board. This is an interesting one. What do we have next, Sarah?
Right? I was thinking, where is this coming from?
Look at the political climate right now is like
right. So we have Captain Canuck, number 1. So where the U.S. has Captain America, Canada has Captain Canuck. It may have been a while since you've heard that name, but the hero has returned. Richard Comley has illustrated a new comic cover featuring Captain Canuck and his take on recent political events. However, comic fans are lovers of classics. As the new book generates media attention, other collectors of historically significant comic books have turned their eyes to the first issue of Captain Canuck. This new attention has generated enough heat to land the Canadian hero on our runners-up list. We've tracked 13 copies sold and a 7-day growth trend of 32%, with a high sale of, this is crazy, but I get it, $250 for a CGC 9.8 copy.
okay.
And a current near mint fair market value of $25. This is insane, but I totally get it. I totally understand why you have these different collectors kind of diving in on this book.
Yeah, do you think it's Canadian collectors buying this up, or do you think it's American collectors?
I think it's both. This is definitely significant, especially if it's talking about recent, historical events. Some collectors like that. We've talked about different niches in past shows, so you should check that out. But yeah, I mean, I have collections of the religious comics. I have John Paul. I have Mother Teresa, St. Francis. So I think it's a little bit of both. I think you have Canadians, you have, history buffs. I think, you just have comic collectors. So, maybe you have fans of Captain Canuck. So I think it's just like all across the board.
Yeah, it's interesting because people are always like, oh, comic books aren't political. Yeah, they are.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Oh, yeah.
super political. Like even like the Daredevil show, I see a lot of parallels with today's climate. And it's like I think those are intentional parallels. Whether or not whatever side of the aisle you're on, it doesn't matter. It's you can't deny that a lot of times. I mean, think about like during the wars, they would use comic books to kind of keep the morale up of the it's always been something that I think links what's happening in the current economic, political, even like the social climate. It all kind of comes together in comic books, which is fascinating. It's more than just storybooks.
Yeah.
This is cool though. Can you imagine having this and have like a Captain America side by side?
Oh, Marvel. That's a free one. And
is there a Captain Mexico?
I don't know, but there should be.
Right? Like all North America needs to be represented. There should be a Captain North America.
Right? That would be fantastic.
Something. Like what's the Mexico equivalent? Anybody in the chat, you guys know way more than I ever would. Is there a Mexico Captain America version? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Right?
Is there a Captain Canuck?
That's
Captain
really
Anthony.
cool.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. We'll see what they say. Number 16, Captain Canuck, Volume 1, Number 1. No, nobody's answering yet, so I'm going to keep moving. All right, this is cool. This is another one that Lando would love. He's always telling us buy video game variants. Always pick up video game books like this, especially if you can find one that has some relevance to it. So Sonic the Hedgehog number 77. This is the Natalie Fordrain retailer incentive 1 in 10. If you are a Sonic collector, Natalie Fordrain's covers are prime collectibles. Did not know that. Her artwork is usually featured on the 1 in 10 retailer incentive, and fans love tracking these down. This book was just released last week, but we often see Fordrain's covers generate heat when it comes to Sonic aftermarket sales. We tracked 8 copies sold at a 7-day growth trend of 19%, with a high sale of $20 for a raw near mint copy and a current near mint fair market value of $15. So see, this is proof that I'm not a huge Sonic collector because I didn't know Fordrain was like a name. So
neither did I.
Oh, I don't think Speedy Gonzalez can count.
Right. Like, come on.
I should go ask Anthony. Anthony would probably say like Blue Beetle, maybe. But that's not the same look that I'm going for.
Right. I know what you're getting at. You want, the buff with the Mexican flag on it.
Yeah, like I want it to be like the countries represented right there. That'd be kind of cool.
Right. Marvel, DC.
Pay attention.
I know you watch.
Yeah, so maybe we should start paying attention to these retailer incentives too. Because I mean, okay, although that's not that impressive. $15 on a 1 in 10. I mean, well, $12 for a 1 in 10. It's basically at ratio, but maybe there's room to grow if you want to hold it long term.
Is it just Sonic fans? Because I think I watched Drunken Chat and they were talking about these books. And I know we've talked about these books before, Sonic books, and how people just love them. I just don't see it. Help me.
I don't read them very often. Like I played the game when I was a kid, but I don't really read Sonic. Who was it that did ours? Delato did a rendition of Sonic that was
cool.
Badass. Yeah. Can you guys imagine? Hint, hint. If Bird City was to do something else, hint, hint. Anyway, wouldn't that be so cool if we did something else along those lines? Number 15, Sonic the Hedgehog, number 77, Natalie Fordrain, retailer incentive 1 in 10, coming in at about $12. So it is, Trish. Like some of the art. Are you talking about the covers or the interiors? Clarify.
Right.
Have you ever done any? I could picture Trish doing one of these. Have you ever done one, Trish, a cover?
She needs to. If not,
she has to have, right? Wait, why would Lando lose his mind? About what?
That we don't buy them or we don't read them. We just
they have some really good covers. I don't know. Lando probably would get mad. I tested for Sonic, but it didn't take because my style wasn't perfect. Okay.
No. Well, boo
Well,
on them.
I've seen Trish. She's so meticulous with all the stuff she does. Like, I don't think there's a possibility that you're not perfect at it. Anyway, let's keep going. Number 14. What do we got?
Yeah, she would do it justice.
Wait, is this my turn or is this your
No,
turn?
it's my turn. You did the last one. I'm going to take on this one.
Do it.
This is DC versus the Sonic the Hedgehog #1. This is the Pablo M. Collar Virgin 1:25 ratio. You know, we talked about Sonic. It's Sonic again. Sonic has always been popular among video gamers and comic collectors. He primarily lived on that medium and crossed over into animated series. We've seen his movies. Live action movies are just crazy. The last one had a bunch of stars, including Keanu Reeves. And so this propelled him and his team into new heights of popularity. This crossover with DC Comics, or DC, comes at a perfect time as DC is relaunching its cinematic universe. Ooh. This Virgin retailer incentive is moving very quickly on the aftermarket and for good reason. Sega and DC have already firmly stated that this collaboration will just not be limited to comics. Interesting. They will expand the crossover into other mediums in 2026. We've tracked 26 copies sold at a 7-day growth trend of 41%, with a high sale of $40 for a raw near mint copy and a current near mint fair market value of $19. I have not seen this book. I didn't even know
This changes things though, because we were just talking about how with them admitting that they're going to expand this universe, crossing it over with this, but then they say that it's going to go beyond comic books. So video game appearances, movie appearances, animated series appearances, there's so much we could do with this. Like that could make this thing freaking skyrocket if you're willing to wait.
Right. Well, isn't so DC owned by Warner Brothers? So you have that property as well. So like Trish was saying, it can be crossed over with Bugs Bunny, Scooby Doo, you know, just an array of Warner Brothers characters. I mean, we could be seeing them in Fortnite and, you know, who knows, you know, yeah, this could be
There's a
a
lot of
very
potential. A lot. So maybe that's why these incentives are just like starting to hit right now because they're kind of predicting that there might be a bit of a boom. Damn, I wish Lando was on here. He'd probably know a ton more about this than I do. But that's interesting. I did not know this was happening. I've been kind of doing other things. So cool.
Who knew?
DCX Sonic the Hedgehog #1, Pablo M. Collar, Virgin 1:25. Let's see if we live to not or to eat our words tonight. If we don't buy this at $18, let's see if this pops back up in about a year and it's like $400 for a Pablo M. Collar.
Right.
You never know.
Never
it could
know.
happen. It
Mhm.
seems like a pretty if they really are going to invest that amount of like time and energy and money into these crossovers, it doesn't seem like a bad buy. And it's an evergreen cover if you're into all these characters, which who isn't? So
Right. I'll be digging for it for sure now.
yeah, right. That changed what you were reading. I was like, wait a second, hold on. What? That I didn't know. Anyway, speaking of news that I had not heard before, this is another one where I'm just like, really? Number 13, Berserker #1, Rafael Grappa, regular cover. So Berserker revealed big news 2 weeks ago. Justin Lin from The Fast and the Furious would direct the adaptation of this comic book. The live action project was rumored even before the book was officially released. However, news about the project has been slow for years. Now it looks like the project is moving forward, and you can follow it in our new article. So if you go to Covrprice, they have a link for that. Comic book adaptation status tracker. And everyone is excited to give this book another look as they rush to collect this. It's Keanu Reeves, guys. So, I mean, it's bound to be good. We tracked 15 copies sold at a 7-day growth trend of 47%, with a high sale of $128 for a CGC 9.8 copy and a current raw near mint fair market value of $8. So this is one of those ones where you kind of missed the boat when it came to like just pure spec, but there is potential for it to drop a little bit before they launch any type of like teaser or trailer, right?
Right. It's supposed to be on Netflix, correct? Or that's what I've heard is Netflix.
I don't know. Doesn't say. Chat. Any idea where this one might be? Berserker on. So
Yeah, I
I can
swear
just.
it was on Netflix.
I'll just
And because
Google
I
it.
heard it was supposed to be like animated, and now that you say live action, is Keanu gonna play it?
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a live action and an anime based on Berserker, which is interesting. Why would they do both?
I don't know. Maybe they're trying to capture both worlds.
Wonder if they would put it as an anime first, see if it hits, and if it does, push it to live action. But live action seems like the obvious choice if you have Kiana with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Why would you draw
Hmm.
that beautiful face?
Okay. Interesting.
I have not read this. I think I bought it just for the whole spec of it all. What is
I didn't
this
read mine
story?
either. We did a cover for this, and I never read it.
You're just like,
Mm.
Keanu!
There's too much else to read, but that's interesting. So more spec here, guys. If you're a spec person, Berserker number one. Yeah, coming in not bad. 9.8, $104. Raw $9. Current trend 4.9% up. Interesting.
Nice.
Last but not least, so if you haven't made the list yet, this is your chance. What do we have for the last runner-up of the evening?
We have our one of our favorite comic books. I gotta go. I went too far. This is
This was my favorite, actually. I put Wonder Woman right above Batman, then Superman.
right. We've got Absolute Wonder Woman number one, the Hayden Sherman regular cover. I own this one.
I
The
did too.
Absolute. I own this one, and I think I own I can't remember which cover, but so yeah, this Absolute Universe is just blowing up. Wonder Woman is still enjoying the spoils of as her first issue is still a trending book, like Laura and I were just saying. It's likely that this book is getting fresh eyes on it, as this Wednesday is the debut, and this is insane. That how many printings of actually all these different universes. This is her debut of the sixth issue in her series. While the story heats up, a few collectors are likely going after the first issue to catch up before the next chapter releases. We've tracked 29 copies sold at a 7-day growth trend of 43%, with a high sale of $65 for a CGC 9.8 and a current raw near mint fair market value of $14.
Hmm.
I wonder if
Um,
you could get it for less.
you probably could. I'm
Mhm.
thinking you could probably throw some offers out there and like, I mean, a raw, very fine, they're saying $4. You could probably get somebody with near mints because I'm sure people have stacks of these.
Oh
So
yeah,
I would. This is one of those things, guys, where if you're putting a bid out, I would bid low. Some
right.
will say, yeah. But I did like this book. Everybody said it was slow, and it kind of was, but it left you wanting more after the first issue went by. It left you kind of on a cliffhanger, and I don't know. I thought it was a strong story. Everybody's like, "Oh, you know, Kelly Thompson's too slow," and I'm like, I disagree. I think that she kind of gives you what you need to be invested.
I loved her Hawkeye series. I think she just did Kate Bishop so well. And I've read
Yeah.
her other stuff. I'm actually just got a bunch of actually two um graphic novels of hers, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. And then also she did The Cull last year.
Oh, the
Uh,
Cole's a good read. It's kind of like the Goonies.
That's what I heard. So I figured since it's Women's History Month or Women's Month, I was gonna go down the rabbit hole of some of her stuff, and then also I also got Pretty Deadly from Kelly Sue DeConnick. So I kind of want to dive into these women, more
Kelly
of
Sue
these women
DeConnick.
writers.
Is that Kelly Sue DeConnick? What else did she do?
She
That
did
name
Captain
sounds.
Marvel.
That's what it is. I'm like, we did a show on her, and I couldn't remember what
Yep,
it was. Yeah, I watched all the interviews. Yeah, she's a badass.
she
That's a, it's
is.
a good pick.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Well, guys, that was number 12. Hopefully you made the list. And if not, maybe next week. We didn't do our picks this week, so that was it. This is a
No,
quick show, but
right?
in
Well,
off.
yeah.
But
Let's see.
we're missing half of our crew. It's spring break. A lot of people are probably watching Daredevil as we speak, so we got competition.
How dare you?
Yeah, what the heck?
Right?
We're here.
You should have
Yeah.
picked us. It's you only get us once a week.
Yeah, and I
What
wasn't even
is
here last week. I went and saw Wicked, which was awesome.
Oh yeah, how was that?
It
You
was
said
just so
awesome.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like as soon as we walk in there with Ellie, we got really good seats, and it was a good time. It was nice to take a break, and then we have what C2E2 coming up next.
That's crazy. 2 weeks. I can't believe how time is just like zipping by.
I can't think of a single book that I've seen advertised for C2E2 that I want.
I haven't either.
I can't think of it. I'm sure like people will probably start bombarding us here with exclusives and stuff, but I haven't seen anything yet.
I've seen a couple. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna go and enjoy myself. And if I do see an exclusive, maybe I'll go pick it up for the right price. But yeah, nothing really is kind of like shouted out to me. I know Covrprice will probably be having lists of exclusives for C2E2 probably sooner than later. So you guys should check that out. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna kind of chill. Jen and I are going. Are you going?
So, funny story. When I was talking to you guys about it and getting all excited because they're doing on-site grading, I was like, "Oh, this is so cool! I could go down there. I can see everybody." But I forgot that Anthony and I actually booked. We're going to be in San Diego to see Matt Rife, the comedian.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and I forgot we had booked it, so we're gone the 12th through the 14th. And I'm like, oh, that's like the same time as C2E2. So no, to answer your question. And Trish just mentioned Feral 11 is out tomorrow. So if you're following the Feral series, make sure you do that. And she won't be at C2E2. I thought you would for sure. Not until July though.
Yep. That's sad.
Just gonna be you and Jen hanging out without me all week.
I know. What are we gonna do?
Have no fun.
Nope. We're just gonna like sit in the middle of the floor and just like mope. Like,
I'm fine with that. I'm one of those friends where I'd rather you both be miserable without me the whole time than have fun without me.
Right.
I'm not too proud to say it. I want you guys to have a horrible time.
Yes.
Just wish I was there because it was so much fun the first time we all went together.
I know.
Guys, no joke. Sarah and Henry, her husband, or her brother-in-law David, they show up with all these little mini Tito's. Oh, that we're not allowed to bring into the con, so we didn't.
Nope. We drank them on the outside.
Yeah. It was a good time.
Yeah, and we always have fun.
Yeah. Well, Anthony's doing a one-day con this Saturday in Tucson. Lady T Comics?
Yes.
I guess she hosts like a con out in Tucson, and they invited us to be vendors this year since we bought that store out in Scottsdale. And we're like, yeah, we'll do it. So this Saturday, if you happen to be in Arizona, we will be in Tucson for that. And yeah, we have some good stuff coming up. That's all I'm going to say. We have so many books coming up that I want to tell you about that I can't.
Oh, let's talk about that Mark Spears that you meant that was been hanging around the IG lately.
So people were so pissed about that. They're like, oh, why did you guys do a holofoil of this after you did the original? And the plan originally was to make we were going to make it into like a con book. We were going to take it somewhere, but we're just not doing cons this year. So everything's kind of shifted. Owning a store is so much work. It's more work than this is going to sound pathetic, but it's more work than we thought it was going to be. Having an actual brick and mortar it's a lot of work. It's just like you don't get a day off, and it's just hours every day. So I just don't know I don't even know if we're gonna do New York this year, which is our favorite.
Well, this is your first year as a brick and mortar, so yeah. I mean, you still got to get the reins on it, but I'm sure you'll be around next year, at the cons.
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping we get back out there because as of right now, we have nothing planned. We might go to New York just to attend, but not necessarily booth it because those are two different beasts. Attending a con is very different than flying everything across the country. So maybe we'll go just for that. But anyway, what she was referring to is that we had a Mark Spears. It was issue number 1, 4th printing. It was a holofoil that we kept in our pocket. And as of right now, if you have not bought one, we gave a heads up to our subscribers and anybody that was on our email. They got a text first, which also pissed people off. And I'm like, hold on a second. I'm like, it's free to sub. Like you could be on this text line.
Mhm.
And we wanted to kind of like reward people that do that. So we sent it out to them first. And as of right now, it's a 300 print run. I'm looking it up as we speak. We have 22 left.
So you all have been warned.
Even more.
You are all now privy to this information. Expect this to be sold out by tonight.
I'm hoping by tonight it's done. And yeah, Mark Spears has been killing it. So shout out to him too. And yeah, that's basically it. My Truly's starting to hit.
See, I'm on my second one already, and I'm not feeling anything. But that's who knows? Who knows why I'm not feeling it?
Well, because we're drinking hard seltzers. They're not really anything. These are like mostly water.
That's true.
That's probably what it is. All right, guys, we're going to call it for tonight. So please sub the channel if you haven't already. Give it a thumbs up. Next week, hopefully, we will have Jen and Sarah back. And yeah, that'll be it. Sarah, any last words?
Lucy.
What did I say?
Sarah.
Jen and Lucy back?
Yeah, Lucy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jen and Lucy.
You know what I mean.
Yeah. You know. See? Yeah. It's all good. Anyways. Thank you all for coming in. Thank you all for participating. We have wonderful shows just about every week. This week is a little bit sparse because it is spring break. So a lot of people are off enjoying the beaches.
Isn't Ben in like Paris or something?
Yes. He's like,
so I don't know if are they doing a long story short this week?
No, I do not think they are. I think I caught it on Thursday, and I think that's what it was. They said that they will be off because Ben is in Paris.
So next week, everything will get back on track.
Yeah, of course. Of course. We'll always be back. If not, hit us up on the rewind. We have some fabulous shows. Even though we go live every week, we also have a library of videos for you to watch on a rainy day, a sunny day, on vacation, whatever. Check us out. So Thursday, Saturday, we've got the guys from Team Nerd Herd doing toy stuff. And then we're back. Or then Monday we have Cover Lovers, and then we're back on Tuesday with us doing the runners up and all good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just, we'll be back. All four of us, all three of us. Sometimes there's two of us. Sometimes
last week there was like one, or the week before that there was me by myself. I'm like, hi, welcome to Comic Book Woman.
Because Sarah can't figure out a computer. Hey, I'll be 1 year older tomorrow, so.
Yeah.
You forgot.
I didn't forget.
That's
it's in my phone.
Oh, I know.
But we were supposed to do something this Friday, but we can't. So it might be postponed.
It's okay. Personal life. This Friday, I'm going to be in Chicago with, I have a goddaughter who is having a quinceañera in December. So we're going to go down in Chicago because we're godparents. And so she's going to try on some dresses.
Happy early birthday. And we are going to celebrate this. I just don't know when. Maybe next week we'll do, if everybody's here, we'll do something. It'll happen.
Whatever. I love you all. You're all amazing.
All right, guys. Have a good night. We will see you next week.